All right, Brandon, what have you been watching lately?
So much.
Nice. Actually, watch some stuff too.
I'm watching something you should be watching.
Okay. Well, you want to hit me with that first?
Yeah, The Chosen season 3.
Okay.
Yeah. The Lord is watching. Anthony.
I like to not react at all.
I know.
It makes you upset.
It doesn't make me upset.
Yeah, you get mad.
I actually think
you can't read me.
I can read you like a book. I actually think that this might be something that you wouldn't care for. We talked about doing an episode a little bit. We kind of
You're making up my mind for me. If I just sit here long enough, you'll not make me watch it.
I am totally fine kind of keeping this. It's also something, like I've said before, I wouldn't want to put it on the chopping block with you because I really like it. I really enjoy it. So, and it's our Lord. So,
that
I also have been watching Madoff, a
what's this on?
docuseries on Netflix.
Oh.
If you are interested in the financial world at all,
Sure.
I know you don't usually lean into that stuff, but
I do.
This is the Mac Daddy of all financial crime, mystery. Just, it's insane. Insanity. The level to which Bernie Madoff deceived it's crazy.
No, totally. I'd be very interested in that.
This was a good one. Good one. Just called Madoff on Netflix. Still watching Shrinking. Still great.
Still great. I'm current. Yeah.
Mayor of Kingstown. Still cruising along on that. Jury's out. Last of Us. Better than ever.
Oh man. Episode 3 got insane. Like, it's just like,
wait, what are you talking about?
Of The Last of Us.
Are you watching that?
No, but episode 3 is, everyone is talking about episode 3.
It was so good.
I'm not watching it yet. I'm going to watch it just because I need to.
I didn't know everyone was talking about it. That's exciting.
Yeah, man. Like, they're losing their minds for like Nick Offerman. And
he was so good.
Yeah. They're losing their minds about it.
So good.
Okay. Well, you've done, sorry.
Oh yeah. That's it. That's it for me.
Okay. So I watched Reacher. I was actually, because we got an episode coming up about it. So I just finished that. I was pleased to find out that I wasn't as behind as I thought I was. I thought I was buying into 2 seasons, but there's only one season out.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's okay. I've pleasantly surprised when I didn't have a bunch more to watch.
That's like doubles the daunting level. If there's just one season,
But it's coming back
soon,
sometime. Yeah. And then, I Shrinking, agree with what you said. I checked out. Okay. So a couple things I checked out. There's a show from roughly 2013 that lasted about 3 years called Moon Boy. And what's the name of the guy from Molly's Game who always starts in the show? He always starts his phrases with like a bad poem.
I don't. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you that.
Chris O'Dowd? Is it Chris O'Dowd?
Oh, because he does a lot of voice acting. It is Chris O'Dowd. Yes.
Okay. He's in Moon Boy.
He's Scottish or Irish, right?
Yes.
Yep.
He's in Moon Boy, and Moon Boy is essentially, it's very, very similar. My friend Todd, who listens to the show and doesn't like some of our takes sometimes, and he likes to tell me about it. But anyway, he told me about it because of I love it too. He told me about it because of Dairy Girls. It is very, very similar to Dairy Girls, but it's a young boy as opposed to young women. So, and he has an imaginary friend. The imaginary friend is Chris O'Dowd. I've only watched 2 episodes. The first episode I did not love. I liked the second episode a little bit better, but it's so similar to Dairy Girls. So if you like Dairy Girls, maybe check it out. But I think Dairy Girls is, at least at this point, I'm not far enough in to know, Dairy Girls is probably better. And then I stumbled upon, somehow, I don't even know how I did this. I stumbled upon a show called Make or Break on Apple TV Plus. And it's essentially, I think we love these. It's essentially All or Nothing or Hard Knocks or Drive to Survive, but for professional surfers.
Oh.
It's awesome.
Kelly Slater's in it?
Not yet.
He's billed.
Oh, he's probably he is in a little bit of it. Yeah. He's not like the main. It's like sort of like He is in some of it, but he's not one of the main focuses of
Gotcha.
it. It's sort of like how Lewis Hamilton was not a main focus of Drive to Survive early on.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Kelly Slater's like the most famous, so I think he's just not. But there's a lot of focus on the younger guys coming up. But it's just like it's this. Well, number one, it's beautiful because they only go to awesome places, and number two, it's just like, oh, cool. I like digging into another sport in this way. Like every time one of these things comes out that I can learn more about a sport that I don't know much about, I love it. So I'm almost done with season 1. Love it. Season 2 is about to come out, so I'm pretty pumped about that. It's called Make or Break on Apple TV Plus. Lots of cool surfing stuff. And it made me think I think I mentioned this, but I want to make sure I do in case I didn't. At some point I mentioned that I watched The 100-Foot Wave. Did I ever mention that to you?
No.
It's a series on HBO called The 100-Foot Wave. And it's this guy's pursuit of surfing, being the first to surf a 100-foot wave. And it's in Portugal, I think is where they go. It's better than Make or Break for sure. It's awesome. It's completely awesome. And then Make or Break is really, really good. So that was a really cool thing I checked.
Stuff like this has to be the single greatest like proselytizing tool for sports.
Well, that's the thing, man. Yeah, totally. And also, so actually this is interesting to talk about for us. Recently, so I mean, it's a couple weeks ago, once this episode actually comes out, but something that happened, obviously we're going to turn to soccer now because that's the only thing I care about at this point. But, so recently Wrexham played in the FA Cup, but they put that match on ESPN. So it was for like my current time, last Sunday, you could watch Wrexham play on ESPN, which is crazy. It's insane, basically. Like we've said a couple times, a beer league softball team was shown on ESPN, their game. They ended up tying, but it brought into a question. This whole debate then started because I'm obviously a fan of the Columbus Crew and MLS. This debate started then about why has American sports media not gotten behind American soccer? And really interestingly, they go and take this 5th tier Welsh football team and put them on ESPN because of Rob and Ryan, obviously, but they put them on there. Why didn't they throw their support behind? And now there's this whole new conversation about how Apple TV Plus is doing MLS this year. I think I've mentioned that on the podcast before, but every MLS game is on Apple TV Plus, no blackouts. I like that we're kind of moving that direction. But there's this whole conversation about how the narrative is what people latch onto, and the narrative is probably what would grow the sport of soccer in the United States. Because that like basically, just look what happened with Wrexham. Wrexham was the most, it was like, I forget the number, but it was the most watched soccer match that day. In the United States, and which is not, that was sort of what Rob and Ryan tweeted out, which was a little propagandizing because there wasn't any other good soccer match that day. But anyway, it was a bunch of people watched a 5th tier soccer game, like I don't know for sure, but a lot. Probably not more than Premier League, but maybe like Premier League levels of watching. So like, that's pretty craziness because people connected with the narrative in Welcome to Wrexham. So now they care about Wrexham and they are starting to potentially care about soccer, which I think is cool. But a whole conversation then has happened recently about how like, Apple TV Plus needs to go into these MLS teams and do some of these series with, like, for example, the Columbus Crew, like they almost moved. We almost got our team taken away from us, and the supporters in Columbus are who banded together and saved the Crew. And they kept the team in Columbus. Wow. So like, that's a heck of a story. Yeah. We should be telling that narrative, and that would make people certainly like them a lot more.
For sure. Absolutely. I think you can lay a lot of blame at sports like football and baseball.
Yeah.
I think they have the chokehold on national broadcasting and what have you. But
for sure, I think, and it's interesting to think about, I think baseball sort of has some narrative built into it. I feel like maybe baseball fans really dig into their teams and football fans don't quite as much, like every element of their teams.
Really?
I don't know. I don't like football as much. So, yeah,
I agree. I don't like football as much, but I feel like football fans are nuts
about the football. But do they know as much about the players, each player? And I know so much about every Cleveland Guardians player.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good question to ask.
I've seen Jose Ramirez's house, pictures of his house on, just stuff like that.
I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah. Football fans are nuts, man.
Yes, they are. That does it for this episode of Good Show. Good Show is created, recorded, edited, and produced by Anthony Mako and Brandon Sharp. Our theme music was written and recorded by me, Anthony, and all our graphics and socials are developed by Brandon. If you've enjoyed your time with us, please make sure to like or follow us on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you appreciate our show, please throw us a rating and a review there too. If you'd like to discuss any of our content, you can search the Good Show Facebook group or follow us on Instagram at The Good Show Podcast. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.